What up, sports fans and fellow foodies? I'm Julie, and welcome to my kitchen, where each week I talk sports while whipping up culinary creations. This week, we're talking about 3 Chicago athletes and their contracts. And we're going to start with the man of the hour, or should I say the moon of the hour. Munetaka Murakami had himself a day on Sunday. It was his bobblehead day, and he did what players do on their bobblehead day. He homered, but not once, but twice. 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, on a day when his parents were here from Japan to watch him play and to throw out the first pitches. His mom threw one to Mune, his dad threw one to his interpreter, Kenzo, and it was just magic. It was a great family experience for Mune and his parents today, and it was pretty much solidifying in my mind what the White Sox should have known all along. You need to get this guy signed to a long-term contract extension. He's signed through the end of next year. The White Sox have not said anything about keeping him around beyond that, but I'm going to bring up a point that Jesse Rogers of ESPN brought up about 4 to 6 weeks ago. So Jesse, I'm giving you credit, but I'm stealing this from you. Jesse pointed out that Japanese sponsors will buy in if they know he's here for the long haul. If they know he's here through next year, maybe, maybe not. So if the White Sox can capture that Japanese sponsorship market, that contract's going to pay for itself, right? All of Japan loves Mune. I read 200 comments online on a White Sox post about Mune tonight. There are so many Japanese comments on there, so I just kept hitting C translation because it's so much fun to read what everybody in Japan is saying about their native son. So I'm telling you, White Sox, you've got to get this guy signed to a long-term deal. You signed him when everyone else in baseball passed on him. You're looking pretty smart. Keep looking smart, White Sox. Oh, and by the way, they introduced the Mune Sushi Pop this weekend at the ballpark. It sold out all 3 days. It's like a push-up, those old ice cream truck favorites. There's like orange sherbet, and you pushed it up and, it came out of a little tube. Well, these are sushi tubes, and they come with a little push-up stick that's filled with soy sauce. Amazing. So you can go ahead and enjoy that at the ballpark if they don't sell out of them, which they were doing all weekend long. So since we're talking sushi, I'm going to go ahead and make something we're going to call the Million Dollar Sushi Bake. It's not a sushi roll. It's going to be a little bit simpler, but with some really high-end ingredients. Because, come on, when you're talking about paying guys the big bucks, they're worth it. So I'm going to show you what we're putting into it. But we're going to start with our sushi rice, which I already have made for us. And I'm going to show you which brand I used in just a second. But first, I'm going to scoop some of this beautiful sticky rice out. And we're going to layer it in my Le Creuset pan here. Any kind of pan you can put, any casserole dish that you can put in your oven. That's all you're looking for. And this one, after I whipped up my sushi rice, I mixed some rice vinegar into it. So we're going to press that down in just a second here. But first, I'm going to show you which brand I used, and I'll tell you why. So I used an actual sushi rice from the Asian aisle at the grocery store. This one, the brand is actually Bay Cliff Company Sushi Chef. The thing I really like about it is you don't have to pre-wash it. A lot of sushi rice you do have to pre-wash because it's treated with chemicals. This is polished with water. And so all you have to do is soak it a little bit just so it's going to still fluff up for you, but you don't have to rinse it, wash it out, blah, blah, blah. I just put it in a colander, put some water over it, and put it right in my pot on the stove. So, and yes, you can do it in a rice cooker. I don't have one. I know my Filipino friend Michelle is rolling her eyes right now that I do not have a rice maker, but I did okay on the stove. I did a 1-to-1 ratio. I did 2 cups of water, 2 cups of rice, threw in a little bit of salt in there, and just let it go. Boiled it, put a lid on it, brought it down to a simmer, let it cook for 15 minutes, let it sit for 10 minutes, bam, done, fluffy sushi rice. Okay, so I'm gonna pat this down gently, just like that. So here I am patting this down gently, and here's where our spectacular ingredients come in. And I mentioned the rice vinegar. I have a seasoned rice vinegar, which means you don't have to make one of your own, but you can. If you have just a plain rice vinegar, you can add a little bit of salt, a little bit of sugar, and make your own seasoned rice vinegar. I happen to have one in my pantry, so I added a 1/3 cup of that to my rice mixture once it was cooked. All right, here's our star ingredient. We are using crab meat. lump crab meat, not imitation, because when you're talking about multi-million dollar contracts, why would you go for the cheap stuff? So I'm gonna put this in my bowl. I'm gonna save a little bit to put on the top for garnish later, just a smidge. But what I have is two 12-ounce packages. I bought the lump crab meat. It is refrigerated. So I found it in my grocery store refrigerated seafood section. But the brand on this one is Blue Star Foods, and it is ready to go. So I have two 6-ounce containers of that. And here's our secret ingredient. We are gonna use Kewpie mayonnaise. Kewpie, like the doll? Yes, that's exactly what it's named for. In fact, it's got the little doll on the bottle, on the label. But it's a little bit richer, a little bit sweeter than our normal mayonnaise. So we're gonna go ahead and put in our half a cup of Kewpie mayonnaise. If you can't find it, Hellmann's mayonnaise actually makes a Japanese-inspired mayonnaise. So you can go ahead and grab that, and it will be extremely similar to this. Like I said, this one's just a little more authentic. But we've got that mixed in there. So I'm gonna give that a quick little gentle stir. Don't wanna mush up all that beautiful crab meat. We want it lumpy. And then I've got one 8-ounce brick of cream cheese. So I'm gonna squish some of that into here and just get it all, this I might do with my hands just to make sure I don't crush anything up. It's fun to get dirty in the kitchen, isn't it? And you're looking at this going, wow, that's gonna be like really creamy and gooey and delicious, and damn, you're right. When this comes out, you are just gonna wanna dive right into it. Oh my gosh, it is perfect texture already, but we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit more to here. I'm gonna put in some of my scallions that I have beautifully sliced here. I'm gonna put in a little bit of these, but save some for our garnish. Mix that in as well. And then we are gonna add this to our rice dish. I am gonna throw in two other quick things that you're gonna like. So one of them is a toasted sesame oil. And the first thing I would tell you when you open your bottle of toasted sesame oil, take a whiff of it. Just give it an open and then go. And it is gonna take you right away to sushi bars and ramen shops, and that's just a little splash of that goes a long way. So maybe I did probably about a teaspoon, maybe a little less than that. And then I'm gonna add some beautiful toasted panko crumbs. What you're looking for are tempura flakes at the grocery store, but if you can't find them, I made my own. I simply took the panko crumbs, and again, I used something from the Asian foods aisle. So I use this one right here. It is J Basket is the brand. And I just put them in my saute pan with a little splash of grapeseed oil, which we like using because it has a high smoke point. And I had a little bit of salt to it, and you just do it 2 or 3 minutes in your pan so you get this beautiful crunch. So we're gonna mix that in and save a little bit for the garnish as well. Our oven is preheated to 375. Oven is hot, just like Mune was today. And we're gonna talk about one other hot Chicago athlete who is just tearing it up on the north side of town. We're gonna get to that in a second. All right, so doesn't that look rich and delicious? And we're just gonna smooth it out. And again, you can use any kind of Corningware casserole dish you have. This oblong one I'm using is a 6x9 by 2-inch depth. And we're gonna get ready to toss that in the oven. 375, it's going in now. We're gonna come back and check on that in just a second. And I'm gonna wash my hands in the meantime too, but we'll be right back. Welcome back, my friends, and I am ready to take our $1 million sushi bake out of the oven. So let's take a look. Oh, wait, what is that? A Mune jersey I'm wearing? You're so observant. I ordered this the first weekend of the season. White Sox got swept in Milwaukee, but Mune homered 3 times in 3 games. I jumped on board back then. I've worn it quite a few times since, and I love contributing to the Mune culture that's developing on the south side. All right, here is our beautiful sushi bake. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I want to dive right in, but we're gonna add a little bit of garnish to finish this up. So I'm going to start with a little bit of our lump crab in the middle, just so people can see those nice chunks. Makes it look a little more luxurious. Like I said, we're dealing with elite athletes right now. And so they're worth it, right? They're worth the extra ingredients. You can use imitation crab. That's okay too. But I found mine, those pouches, for like less than $8 a pouch. So it was worth a little bit of a splurge at the grocery store. All right, we've got our scallions here. So we're gonna put a few here and a few here. You just want it to look pretty. And then we're gonna go ahead and add what's left of those toasted panko crumbs. This is just something you want to look so visually appealing when you serve it. Or if you're just, sitting down yourself in front of the TV to watch a White Sox game. Doesn't have to be super fancy, right? And we're gonna add a little bit more of our Kewpie mayonnaise. Just a little smidge here. Just give it a little bit of a drizzle. Just like that. How cool does that look? So cool, I'm gonna do it the other way as well. All right, there we go. We got a little bit of our spicy, zesty mayonnaise there. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of wasabi too. Yep, this is hot. It's gonna give you a little bit of a kick. Give you a little bit more color with your drizzle here. Now we are looking like gourmet restaurant plating, right? We've got some chopped cucumbers. You can do English cucumbers, the seedless ones. That's probably what I would recommend, but these, yeah, they've got a few seeds because I just chopped this up from my garden tonight. And I am loving that. I know we're a little skeptical of buying produce right now, but when it comes from your garden, you know it's good. You know it doesn't have any crazy pesticides or anything funky on it. So, and I could just keep eating these. Take a little snack here and just, but we don't want to hold things up. Okay, now we've got some black sesame seeds. You can use black or white. Give it a little authenticity. And you're gonna serve this to your guests with a couple accompaniments. The most important one that we're using, I'm serving this with seaweed chips. You can buy nori, you can use the whole sheets, but I mean, when they're built like this already, when they're pre-made with little scoops, how can you not want to do that? And then I have here some fresh sliced avocado and some pickled ginger that, because I'm a pastry chef, of course I arrange like roses, but you're just gonna want to put some of these for garnish here. You don't want to put them on your bake right away because it's hot. You don't want these melting as you're serving this to your guests. So you're gonna put a few little roses there. I'm gonna use a couple of my avocado slices for some leaves. Make it look fancy, make it look gourmet like that. Just like that, and people can scoop them and eat them as well. And then you're gonna serve it with your soy sauce. People can drizzle it, they can dip it, however they wanna do it, but you're gonna give them that option of having a little soy sauce. But wait, here's our finishing touch. You're gonna love this. Because this is a $1 million sushi bake, I'm gonna add a little bit of gold leaf. Yes, this is edible. Pastry chefs use it all the time. It is very difficult to handle, but it is so pretty. That's why I'm using these little mini plastic tongs. Don't even ask me where I got these from, but you can use tweezers. You can use your fingers, but they're gonna stick. It's gonna stick to your fingers. But you just want everyone to go, wow, that really does look like an elegant dish. So I'm gonna pile a little bit of gold leaf there. And again, it's edible. So you're serving this beautiful casserole dish that's got your seaweed chips, and people are going, wow, that looks like it's like a $50 dish in a Japanese restaurant. But you're gonna make it for like a fourth of that in your house. And speaking of great deals, the Cubs signed Pete Crow Armstrong to a 6-year contract extension back in March, $115 million. That is looking like a steal of a deal for the Cubs. PCA putting up historic numbers this year, including some June numbers that are right up there with Ruth and Gehrig. He's got a WAR right now of 6.5, and because of that, he's gonna earn some extra money. It is pre-arbitration bonus money. This is negotiated in the 2022 CBA, and it means players that did not have enough service time to be eligible for the usual arbitration, they have a bonus structure in place, and WAR determines a lot of that. So PCA this year is making $900,000. He's currently scheduled to make another $1.2 million in that pre-arbitration bonus money, that pool. This is something that's gone to guys like Paul Skeens last year, who brought in an extra $3 million. Miguel Vargas, way back when, had it. Dylan Cease has gotten money from that. Bobby Witt Jr. These guys have all benefited. Jacob Mizorowski. So that money is sitting there, and PCA is getting a good chunk of it for performing so well. So he could wind up making double what he's making in his base salary this year. You get money if you finish in the top 5 in MVP, Cy Young, blah, blah, blah. So he's going to keep building there. And his deal that the Cubs signed him to, which was such a bargain deal, is actually going to pay PCA pretty well because of that pool of money. So he's making out like a bandit. The Cubs locked up this superstar player. It's looking like a great deal. And then there's the Blackhawks with Patrick Kane coming back to the fold. They're bringing him back to be a mentor to Connor Bedard. And there's a little bit of nostalgia and wanting to win back some of the fan base that's maybe drifted away a bit. 2 years, $16 million. That $8 million per year raised an eyebrow all over the hockey community. A lot of people thinking he's overpaid. A lot of people thinking the Blackhawks spent more money than necessary. But they felt this was a good splashy move for them to, again, get some attention, bring some of the fans back in, and mentor their young star, their next Patrick Kane. So a lot of money moving around with our local teams. And I want to see the White Sox do something. Show him the money. Mune. Whatever, you know what I mean. I was walking through the grocery store today singing, "Must be the Mune," and people are looking at me like I'm crazy. But you know what? It fits. So we're going to go ahead and take a scoop of our beautiful bake here, and you are going to see, oh my gosh, look at how beautiful and decadent and yummy that is. You can see the steam, and it's all gooey, and I just might take up sushi on a regular basis now if Mune stays in the fold for a while. I'll see you back here next time in my kitchen. Thanks for joining me.